down if they need to. Yamada can should be thrown out as well. My computer's not
He's still around, by the way.
Dragon's in the game. He's still here. He's got 4 Marines with him. And there's another one pulled in, and it's going to get Europe as well. Instantly shot down. That Aria not doing a huge amount there, but it's going to be obliterated in the process. And
Looks like the Ravens trying to Hunter Seeker actually pointed out the point defense drones. Battle cruisers throwing down the amount of cannons, but here come the Vipers.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello from the MLG studios here in New York City, and welcome back to Heart of the Swarm exhibitions, where every single weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern we do something related to Heart of the Swarm, because it's a new game, it's awesome, it's not out yet, but we have beta keys, both of us do, and some pro players do, and some community people do, so we're able to do stuff in Heart of the Swarm, and it's awesome.
Doing stuff is pretty fun, man.
Especially in Heart of the Swarm.
It is. It is. So why don't you tell them what we have in store for tonight?
Today we have a Showmatch. Now, a little bit of a story here, Mr. Axelov. Yesterday, the Heart of the Swarm beta went down for maintenance, and because they wanted to put some cool stuff into the game, which I'm okay with. You know, they could have asked, though. They could have asked me if it was okay, because we had a Showmatch planned, and it's fine. So we weren't able to do the Showmatch yesterday, so we pushed it to today. Today's going to be Polt versus Dimaga. We're going to be getting started with that fairly soon. It's going to be a best of 7 in Heart of the Swarm TVZ. Cat's bailed on me. That's okay. My friend Nick is here. And speaking of which, like, there's a reason it all went down. Again, the cool stuff that was added. Do you like the new stuff that they put in there?
You know, I think it is pretty freaking awesome, man. Especially the take control from replays.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times if you ran to a Zerg player who says, I just can't beat that Immortal in, and you tell them, just practice versus it,
yes,
you know, for all day, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, but the first 9 minutes of the game
it's
are
a
wasted.
waste of time.
Exactly. So, boom.
Boom.
Get one replay where you do the first, no, actually more like probably about 8 minutes.
Sure.
Perfectly.
Once the push
starts moving up. Well, I mean, or just set up for the push if you want to try getting, like, a little more speed leans out or more roaches, or
right, sure.
So maybe you have to start a minute before the push
yeah.
moves out, just so you can get your setup going. But
when your Overlord goes to scout it, I guess.
That's right. So there's so many things to try there. It makes practice so much more efficient.
Yeah.
I was listening on, I think it was State of the Game last night, and HoTS was talking about how he thinks all the Kespa teams are going to have like stock replays. We'll have like this portfolio of like stock replay builds, and then the coaches will come to the player and say like, all right, you know, you got to practice first this, so you know, you got to just go from this replay 100 times over. And you can do that. You can do like 100 times in a day, because each time might only be 5 minutes instead of being, you know, 10, 15 minutes. So you triple your effectiveness.
So we're going to see like the skill level in SU2.
Oh, it's going to skyrocket, man.
Skyrocket. Now that players have this ability to, you know, pick up where a game may have gone the wrong way, just to practice certain scenarios, situations. It's really cool.
Most notably, I think, in late game situations.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about how frustrating it is to see like Zerg players run their infestor headbutt syndrome, or they ditch the Brood Lords, or you know.
I mean, as a Protoss player, part of me is like, yes, infestors die, but then a part of me is like, oh.
Especially when you're watching the games,
yeah,
and you're like you just see 8 infestors run to siege tanks, you run to a Protoss army, like, but a lot of it is because when a Zerg player practices, each game they play, they're so focused on the most important skill set is of course the macro. And so they're so focused on that for most of the game,
yes, that
there's those little moments where they can try infestor control. But those are only small moments. There's like 2 or 3 engagements in the game. So you have 2 or 3, you know, 20, 30-second sections to practice that out of a full 20-minute game. So it's not, you don't get to focus on it very much.
And that's like a really important part, because if you lose infestors, you're probably gonna lose the game if they're not gonna be cost efficient, because that's a lot of gas you're spending on those guys.
So now, I mean, next time you see, you know, your favorite fantasy, you have Roro on your fantasy team, and he plays that game, loses all his infestors, you can be like, well, you know what, it's okay. Because his coach is going to give him that replay queued up to that point and say, do this 100 times. Do this, no, not just do this 100 times.
Right.
Do this until you don't lose an infestor 100 times in a row. Then I'll let you play again. And then you know it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Really cool. I love how Blizzard is really listening to the community. And implementing these changes that just make the game so much better. Of course, it's on Heart of the Swarm, not on Wings Liberty right now, but you can get a beta key we're giving some away. Yeah. Usually. Actually, that's a nice little jump into a different topic where I'm actually a little bit impressed with you guys, because we had a challenge earlier this week of, we said that if our YouTube channel got to 1,000 subscribers, we'd give 3 fistfuls or
3 fistfuls.
3 fistfuls of beta keys away. And we're at 954. So if we go to our at my screen over here, and I'll hit that refresh button just to see the latest numbers. I think we could get. We already got 2. I think we get in 2 minutes. I bet we can get to 1,000. What do you think, Nick?
I think we can.
And of course, we actually talked a lot more about the patch notes here. That video's up there, so you can check that out. Lots of awesome content on the StarCraft 2 channel. Videos going up pretty much every single day. You can see I'm scrolling all the way down, and it's still 1-2 days ago. We've gone through about 20 videos already. So lots of awesome content. This is one of my favorite days. We played through a bunch of custom games, arcade
Dodgeball
games.
was fun.
Dodgeball was fun. You know, I'm actually going to click on this because it's pretty cool. And make sure I pause it. The maker of the creator of the game actually went and commented on this video.
Oh yeah.
And he said this was a very old version, and he's uploading a new one. So I'm looking forward to that. And I like this guy. Yeah, that's an awesome comment. All right. Yeah, so here's our YouTube channel. You can find it at youtube.com/official MLG SE2. Of course, if you're into League of Legends, which is fine, you can check that out. We're beating them. 903, just saying. Call of Duty.
Uh-oh.
Well, let's just not look at that.
No.
Let's get out of that. Yeah.
We're being crushed, guys.
968. Wow. Okay,
What's
so
happening?
we're about to get to 1,000. So
Nice.
I'm going to force our producer to spam a bunch of Heart of the Storm beta keys on the screen once that hits 10000. And I think it can happen in the next 30 seconds, honestly. But yeah, youtube.com/official MLG SE2, your source for awesome StarCraft 2 content. Every single thing you see on stream here goes onto that.
You know, one other thing, I want to encourage you guys to all make comments on YouTube, because
Yeah.
we're actually starting to do things where we look at the comments
Yep.
and then we're gonna do like basically answer the community, because all this time here, you know, we're up in front and we're kind of casting to you guys,
Yeah.
telling you what's going on in the games, or I'm on my show
We
telling
don't
you
get to
how
interact
play.
as much with y'all,
Exactly.
like, you know?
So we'll do a lot more. If you
lot more
post your
interaction.
comments and they're decent comments, we're gonna do little shows where we kind of answer questions on the comments, or talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, just stay tuned to that YouTube channel. I'm going to hit refresh one more time just to see what we're at, because I want to give away beta keys.
Well,
I
you're
really
doing
do.
that.
Oh, we're 11 away. We're
You're
11
doing
away.
that.
Okay.
One thing, I was actually watching Dimaga's stream earlier.
Yeah.
He was playing Heart of the Swarm.
Yes.
He's playing Zerg.
He's playing tonight.
He is.
Or today.
He's
Depending on where you live.
Him versus Polt will start up in just 1 to 2 to 3 minutes.
Yep.
One of those 3 numbers will be accurate. But basically, he got Canada Rush, and he said some words in a non-English language, and then he
Did you
crushed the guy.
understand them?
I didn't, but he crushed the guy. So you know what? He knows his Heart of the Storm well enough to crush the Protoss Canada Rush. Can he beat Polt, though?
He was cannon rushed.
He was.
Oh, okay.
Dirty Canada Rusher, man.
Wow.
Dimaga wasn't having any of it. You know what he did?
Who cannon rushes?
He waited until the Protoss had committed all their buildings. He double
Yeah.
expanded elsewhere and just canceled his hatchery. Went about his own business, got a huge macro lead, got some Zerging run bys.
Huh.
So it was on Akalon Waste where the ramp's fat.
Yeah.
So the Protoss invested like 4 pylons and a cannon just to do the cannon rush, right?
Right.
And then they had the Nexus and they would forge Gateway, and so he got like 10 Zergings when they had the cannon, but their ramp was not walled off.
Okay.
Fully. Just too
Trying
big.
to visualize this in my head. Very
Just
interesting.
ran on through.
Yeah. Dimaga's pretty good this game.
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
I'm going to go one last time to the YouTube channel, and then hopefully...
Oh, Polt's here.
Oh, we got
Oh,
2
wait a
more
minute.
until, if we can show the screen really quick. We're 2 away from 1,000.
Almost there.
Almost there. I'm going to hit refresh again, and we need confetti or something.
All right. Well,
Okay,
Polt,
now I'm upset.
is it there?
We just 2 people. Come on. We want to...
We know what? Let's start game number 1,
Okay.
and then we'll check it after game number 1,
Okay.
and then we'll give away all the beta keys at that point.
Okay.
Or throughout the next couple games, we'll give away. We'll give away.
Oh, I didn't ask if they're ready.
Jumped the gun on them just a bit there. Luckily, they're both okay.
I don't know how to make hearts. Okay.
You gotta ask Huck, man. Huck is the heart master.
Yeah, I was trying to do shift in the less than, but I accidentally hit M. So it was an M and then a 3. It's not quite a heart.
You know, I've got an unexpected fatal error.
Uh-oh. You're not going to be in the game.
That's all right.
Should
It's
we
also
remake
gonna
for you?
No, you shouldn't. It's also gonna take a lot of load.
has left the game.
It doesn't even know my name.
Look how mysterious that is.
Wow,
That's actually a little bit scary.
that is scary.
All right, we're in the game. This is on Akalon Wastes, one of the new Heart of the Swarm maps. This map is also in Wings of Liberty, so if you don't have access to the beta just yet, which I think you will be, because I think we just hit 1,000 subscribers, probably. I'm just guessing, because we're 2 away. But here we are on the show match. So let's focus on this. Best of 7 between Polt and Dimaga. TBZ, of course, bottom right-hand location. Got the red Zerg player, Dimaga. His opponent in the top left, it's the blue Terran player, Polt. Of course, both of these players are teamless at the moment.
Ooh.
So I'm sure this is going to be a great opportunity for them to show how valuable they could potentially be to a future team. So, 2 of the best free agents, I would honestly say. And then they both have great community presence. I know Dimaga recently was trying to win a honeymoon.
He did win.
And he ended up... Well, you just spoiled it. I was trying to make a nice little lead-up.
I'm sorry. I ruined your story, man.
You see...
Story time is not so good when I'm present, huh?
So yeah, Reddit...
We should make a new show, Story Time with axeltoss.
Well, as long as you're not in it, because you'll just spoil the stories.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That we have a chance for me not to ruin all your stories.
Look, Dimaga has paw prints around his hatchery. And we just hit 1,000 subscribers, by the way. Get your fingers ready, because there's going to be... Boom!
There'll be more coming.
There you go. And there'll be more
coming.
I'm so happy we got to 1,000 subscribers. Of course, Call of Duty sits at 5,000, but...
Almost. They're almost 5,000.
We'll get there. I think we're improving. And, of course, awesome content will be on our YouTube channel every single day. So, but yeah, here we go. Polt versus Dimaga. Who do you got?
Well, I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I haven't seen very much of Dimaga or Polt play in the beta.
Ooh.
But I have seen Dimaga win on Aqualon Waste.
Yes.
I've never seen him lose on Aqualon Waste. So he's 100% in my eyes.
So based on your
there we go.
Sample size.
Yeah, it may not be the best sample size, but I'm just going to go with it and say Dimaga wins. This map. This map. I'm not talking about the whole series. This map, I think I got Dimaga. Although Polt is building command centers.
They changed this up a bit, this production tab.
They did. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's more spaced out. It feels... You know what? Like, for me, I actually like the old way better. Because I felt I could see more with...
You also play on a 4x3 screen when you play StarCraft.
This is true. I like smaller things squished in more.
Okay.
Know, or like, you know. So what they did is they spread out the icons more. There's a space between each.
They put little
boxes around
border
it, basically.
things.
Yeah. And I think that's gonna help a lot if you're watching it like not on your own computer staring up. But if you're watching on TV from further back, it'll make it much easier to tell what's going on under production tab. If you're not as instantly familiar with the graphical representations of all the icons, it'll make it easier to kind of separate them and make more clear what's going on. So I think I like it as like a spectator view, you know, and I'm leaning back, you know, having a drink, watching.
And I'm sure
the
many of our
match.
viewers right now are doing that.
Exactly.
Like in my mind, I see a family on a couch. We got the 3-year-old being a little bit annoying, but we got the 2 parents there with their 22-year-old son, who invited them to watch some StarCraft 2. And to that family, I hope you're enjoying yourself, and you made the right decision. You should buy your son Heart of the Storm.
Buy him Heart of Storm and a projector.
Yes,
to watch,
get him a projector.
Yeah, to watch all the games.
Add a room to the house you currently live in, and make it a StarCraft 2 room.
Yep. You gotta have themed wallpaper, then an area you can project it on, and wow, look at that.
Another beta key.
New beta key get boss. So keep your eyes, keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes on there. We're gonna do a lot more. Like, we're not even started. Like, that's just 2. We got to 1,000 subscribers, so we're having a party here on Friday at the MLG Studios. But let's go ahead and focus on these builds really quick. We have Polt going for macro mode here. Opened up with a barracks into a factory. It looks like he's turning on some Hellions, adding on a natural and a 3rd command center. So this looks very Wings of Liberty-esque. Also has 2 gases in his main base, the 2nd gas coming up just now. Meanwhile, we have Dimaga sticking on 2 bases, not getting a fast-ish 3rd. 2 gases in his main base, no lair just yet, and just now adding on gases to his natural expansion. Looks like he has about 4 queens on the field.
You know what's really cool?
What's really cool?
The build that Polt's doing would be considered pretty risky in Wings of Liberty. A 3rd followed by a 2nd factory. Most Terrans would consider extremely difficult to hold out like a 7 roach push off 2 or 3 bases, or even like 11 roach push, like some mass roach aggression, right? Because you don't have
why
the
is it different in Heart of the Swarm, Mr. Axel?
So there's 2 huge reasons why Polt's build is actually totally safe on Heart of Swarm.
Okay.
One is the Widow Mine beats everything now, so you just get a couple of those on your safe.
Yes.
And then 2 is you can get the Siege Tank out so much faster with Siege mode.
Ooh.
I mean, Siege Tank itself comes out at the same speed, but as soon as it pops out, it instantly has Siege mode. So it's much. I mean, that's a very strong tool against Banelings and Roaches as well.
When I think of Terrans losing games against Zerg, I recall a lot of games where the Zerg hits right before Siege Meta finishes. So
Exactly.
definitely agree with that point. We have some Hellions actually sneaking by, just going straight to the main base, getting their wheels slimy on that creep, but they're going to go straight for that mineral line layer, going to complete. And Dimaga not making any attempts to run these drones away. I'm a little bit surprised that he wasn't able to block that ramp to prevent these Hellions from getting in.
Yeah, you know, the Queens were slacking a bit there, and he's suffering a few losses because of it. Not too many, though.
Yeah, but Dimaga is going to be building units at this point, and he's going to be not attacking his opponent. And this gives Polt room to move forward some Widow Mines. We have a Widow Mine already outside the natural expansion of Dimaga here, and I don't think Dimaga has any idea. No, he doesn't. So we'll have to see how much damage this guy can do.
Oh! Queen!
Boom.
Ooh. Oh, now the Hellions can finish
it's
off
dead.
the Queen. Boom!
Wow, that Queen
Goodbye,
had a
Queen.
lot of energy, too. Really cool play.
And getting all the active creep teamers.
Yep.
Very, very nice.
Oh, these Hellions have blue
Nice
flame.
moves by Polt there. So Polt went double engineering bait, which means he is finding now 3 more barracks. So he is following up this blue flame Hellion opening with bio.
What do you make of that? Why invest in the blue flame if you're going bio?
You know, it's a cool opening. Gumiho actually did it throughout his GSL group. I'm not gonna tell you if it worked or not for him. You have to watch out those games. There were some great games.
Yeah, Widow Mine.
But now Dimaga's getting an Overseer. The Widow
Yeah.
Mines are so cheap. It's like you can.
This Queen might die if the Hellions focus it.
He'd lose like 3. Oh, if you can get around those roaches.
Yeah,
Boom,
it's
one
dead.
more shot.
Volley. Yep, and now I gotta get away. Nice.
Only
nice
lost
move
1
there.
Hellion, 2 Hellions. Okay.
Polt's so good.
But yeah, so Gumiho was doing a lot, and it's kind of cool. I think the blue flame opening, you can go multiple ways. Because
That's true.
what you can do here is you can just move that factory off the reactor, get 2 tech lab factories, so you get a lot of siege tanks. And then the reactor, you just put a barracks on. So none of the buildings are actually wasted, right? You're not wasting any buildings.
Dimaga's actually investing a lot into this attack, dude. He's got 33 roaches, only 44 drones, and there's already siege tanks here. We'll have to see if this can work. Dimaga pressing forward to the natural expansion. Hellions getting cleaned up easily. The SCV is going down here to repair their 3 siege tanks back there, but is that going to be enough for
So many
Polt to hold this
roaches.
off?
I mean, the thing, I think Polt's got this. Yeah, he's going to lose some SCVs, but I mean, he's got 3 orbitals and so many. Like, he literally could have lost 20 SCVs there.
15 more roaches in production from Dimaga. I almost expected drones to be made there instead of those roaches.
I feel he's committed. I don't think
You think
he can.
so? Yeah.
I mean,
I
his
would agree.
third's not even started.
And his opponent's third is already on the ground.
His opponent's third's on the ground, and not only is it on the ground, but there's a situation where, let's say Terran takes a fast third and they have their third before you, it's a Zerger Protoss. Sometimes it's okay, because if you just crank all your stuff into drones and build a hatchery, like if they built the third, they don't have much unit production, right? But this point in the game, Polt doesn't only have his third on the ground, but he also has like 5 barracks up, all the reactors up,
add-ons.
2 tech labs. Yeah, like his production's all set up, so
Yep.
you don't have that time to catch up in economy, because he's gonna be moving out probably about 3 minutes from now. So I mean, Dimaga's got to just try to get in there and get a really good trade. If he can catch the depots down, I think he can maybe get in there and do some damage. Well, maybe not. That's too much Terran. Maybe I should take my words back. Well-positioned tanks.
Yeah. Like this tank right here, it's pretty much covering that third.
This is brutal.
All right, so what
Absolutely
can
brutal.
Dimaga do? He's going into upgrading melee units here and adding on a Baneling nest. So it looks like he wants to do some sort of transition. But he's going to try to press forward with these roaches once again. But at this point, Polt has about 5 siege tanks in the area. Dimaga trying to come in from every single location, trying to spread out that splash damage from the tanks, taking down a couple.
Oh, he's gotten 2 siege tanks. About to get a third one.
But
Not sure.
His drone count is 4 less than it was about 5 minutes ago.
He's
He's
been
just
building
adding,
buildings.
yeah, there's the GG.
Yeah.
So, you know, that wasn't a preemptive GG by any means. I mean, as
he
you
was
said
dead.
before, he was committed to that roach play. And, you know, the key points of that game being Dimaga's decision to go for the mass roach play. I'm not sure if that was in reaction to the Blue Flame Hellions, because if you think about it, I mean,
Blue
if you're...
Flame Hellions means there's probably not a fast Banshee.
Right.
It means... Used to mean there wasn't going to be a siege mode.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Sure.
So he's in that mode of thinking, he might even scout the fast 3cc. I've been thinking,
Yes.
Blue Flame Hellions fast 3cc,
Yeah, so
roaches,
Blue Flame Hellions
get
and
him.
fast 3cc, and then, like, logically, I guess you can kind of guess that your opponent's going to be teching to mech, which takes a little bit to get
or
going.
if they're going bio, they won't have stem.
Right.
So either way, still be good.
But Polt did a great job getting those tanks out pretty quickly. And he also, that Widow Mine, I feel like had a big impact there.
It did.
Taking down a couple queens. It's pretty important. Of course, that limits the production ability of the Zerg player. And the supply depot wall, getting those SCVs there in time to repair that. That was a huge deal. What do you think if Dimaga had tried to swing around in the beginning to take down those rocks? I think there's a tank there, though, so it's...
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
would have
sure
been
if there
taking fired up.
I'm just trying to think if there would have been a better way.
As long as Polt saw him attacking the rocks, he could just moved buildings to make another wall. And, I mean, honestly, even if Polt didn't have the depot wall, if he just stuck all his SCVs in the way, he still would have held it.
Yeah.
He would have lost maybe 15 SCVs, but I think he'd have no problem losing 15 SCVs and holding that attack and still being ahead.
Well played from Polt. He's going to take game number 1 in this best of 7. We're not done. We got some more games coming up. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, it's going to be game 2 between Dimaga and Polt. See you then.